Okay, so today I'm going to go over how I edited the photos from my photo shoot that I talked about in my last video. So I'm just going to go through what I did for the couple of photos I edited, and then we're going to edit one together. So this is not a tutorial, it is a process video to just see what I did to edit these. By no means am I proficient in Photoshop or photo editing. It's just really something like I experimented and played with and what I sort of learned. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today, and let's just jump right into looking at the first photo I edited. Okay, so we're here in Lightroom and this is the photo. Here is the original and here is the edited version. So let's jump over to Photoshop because I edited this there. So here we are in Photoshop and here's all the layers. And keep in mind, I edited this like 2 months ago and I was just playing around. So I literally made it up as I went along. I wasn't planning on filming like how I did it. It's like when you just chuck something together in a pot and then you're like, oh wait, I totally forgot the recipe. But anyway, here is the original photo. The first layer here, and yeah, I just expanded it, the image, because I wanted it to be a bit taller. Okay, so I just adjusted with the curve tool basically. Then I just masked that out.
Play with the brightness and contrast, did some color balancing.
More curves, so I was literally doing little tweaks. Again and again, just to see the effects.
So I messed with the curves again, and the levels, and the brightness and contrast again,
So that's what I did for the subject. Added more cool blue tones, because it was quite warm, as you can see. And then I did another mask that I inverted, and I added this gradient to the background. And I did more curves, the levels, and added a lot more darkness there, I think, more contrast, especially to hide this top part here. Yeah, and I think that's really it. I think I do remember using a brush for some of these, so it is gonna be difficult for me to replicate something like this, I think, because I was watching a couple of different tutorials as well, and then I was just doing my own thing. So it really is just depending on the image and making like tiny adjustments and fiddling with it until it looks right. And again, like these techniques, as you could tell with me trying to explain it, I struggled to remember what I did exactly. So yeah, it's probably not the most helpful, but let's look at another one and see how I did that. Okay, so back in Lightroom, and the other photo I edited was this one. So this is the original and this is the edited version. So I really like how this edited version came out. And I think this one, it may have been a bit more straightforward because I didn't deal so much with the shadows in the background and really masking out those different areas. Okay, so let's just see when we get into Photoshop. Hold on 1 second. So here we are in Photoshop with this image. And let's see if I can remember anything about how I edited this one. This is, I think, the dodge and burn here. With the dodge and burn, it is just like you have the brightness, you use the curves for the brightness, and then you use a brush to softly bring in that brightness. If that makes any sense. So that was definitely a tutorial I followed myself, but you can see there how that works. So it was really, you had a layer and you just increased the brightness there on the curves, and then you filled it with black, brought in a brush and just softly went over the areas you would actually like to be brightened, basically. This is more me reminding myself how I did this so that I can do it again and show you guys. So yeah, you can see clearly that difference that it makes, giving some highlight and whatnot to the face and to the chains anywhere that needs it. I'm not sure if this layer is doing anything right here. This might just be a layer I was gonna experiment with and then did nothing on. So, real professional here. So okay, here's the original. You can see it's quite yellowish, quite flat as well. This color balance, I brought in a lot of pinks, it seems. And then I copied that color balance and masked it out. So I was just affecting the subject. I'm really struggling here. So I was just affecting the subject with this mask and these next layers with this next color balance, which obviously is a lot more blues and a big brightness and contrast difference there. And then I masked it again to affect just the background. And with background, I added the gradient, this random layer that does nothing. And then overall, I did the dodge and burn for the skin. So yeah, that one actually is a lot more simpler, as you can see. I had to work backwards there myself to remember what was going on. Let's move on and let's do one together. So let's select a photo to edit. I think I mentioned this in my last video, how, especially since I'm the one modeling, and I'm not a model for sure, so mentioned getting over the embarrassing awkwardness, cringiness, the cringiness of all of this. So I'm exposing myself here with all these very awkward poses. I think it was worse in the last video. If you want to endure that cringe, feel free. But yeah, like I said, I got more silly to get something a bit more dynamic with the posing, because it gets really boring if it's just like, which is basically what I did anyway. This one's terrible. The umbrella ones were not giving what I was thinking they were giving. Like, there's something about it that's almost working, but it's not. I swear I had one that I actually liked. I swear there was at least one. No. Maybe, was it this one? No. I swear there was at least one of these that I liked. And keep in mind, these are the like flagged selections, like the only ones I was like, okay, they're decent. And ew, no. This one's kind of, oh, okay, wait. This one's kind of cool. Like, I actually like the shadows there. That's giving quite a dramatic look. But I think this was the one I had selected before. So let's go with this one into Photoshop. Okay, so we're here in Photoshop with this photo raw image that we are going to be editing together. And this is going to be a process that we go through together. It's not going to be, this is how I do it, and this is how you should do it. This is just going to be, let's muck around and remember how to use Photoshop. I forget every time. I open it again and I'm like, it's pretty bad to be honest, but let's not focus on that. Okay, so like I might just be doing something similar to this, yeah? Let's first do some color balancing. So let's bring it into, again, the cooler side, the cooler tones. This is the mid-tones, the shadows. Shadows can be maybe a little bit warmer. So it's really just me eyeballing. This is not like a solid, I think you get the point now. It's not a solid like technique. I'm just eyeballing to see what I like. Shadows, highlights, definitely a bit like this. Yeah, that looks okay. I'm just gonna be referring back to this one as I go. So there's quite a difference there actually. And I think I definitely did some adjustments on like the exposure. So let me do that. Brightness and contrast we definitely need. And this is gonna be just for, I think we're first gonna do like for just the whole image, and then we'll start masking out brightness and contrast. So definitely up the brightness and the contrast. To be honest, right now I'm kind of liking less of a contrast. We'll change that later with the background because we don't want to see like any of the messy background. I can't be bothered trying to like clean it up. I think I will just put it into shadow, you know? I just figured that's a nice technique where I don't have to worry about cleaning up the dirty backdrop or the creases that you can sort of see happening in the paper. Just put it into shadow, yeah. Okay, so let's do some brightness, contrast, levels, exposure. Let's do exposure because that's what we need. A little bit more exposure. And I think what I did with the previous ones here is I did just like put all the layers into one. That's just like called color balance. I think I just had a bunch of these and just chucked it into the one layer. Levels. Okay, I think that's fine for now. Let me just merge these layers. Okay, cool. So merge the layers and I'm going to rename this color balance. Oh, actually I'm just gonna call it adjustment one. Adjustment one. And I'm just gonna duplicate that. Command J, duplicate. And it's gonna be the mask, I think. So we are going to be selecting the subject. So this next layer, we're just going to be affecting just the subject of the photo. Okay, it's not good. Let us change a bit here. This chain doesn't have to be included. Like this bit. Still pretty quite a rough selection still. Oop. Yeah. Thank you. I want this finger in. Don't want this. Cool. Yeah. See, I know with Photoshop, it really is about the selection. It's about selection and blending, but I get pretty lazy with selecting. So don't mind me. Do spend time with selection, unlike what I'm doing right now. I think if I really wanted this to be amazing and I wasn't going to like chuck a lot of it sort of into shadow, I might be a little bit more that was very much exposing my feet right there, but I might be a little bit more selective. But I think that's fine, that will do for now. So let's mask that out. I might do the background first instead. Background first, let's invert this, Command I, with, let's add a gradient. Again, I liked it with the blues. I think maybe a basic blue would be good. Let's go with this one. I think this is the same one I had last time. Blend mode. I think it was an overlay. I could actually go and check, but I think it was overlay. Was it normal? It was normal, but opacity was at 30%. See, I really, truly do not remember. Oh my god, I did exactly the same gradient in this one too. Okay, overlay 15%. Okay. So let's do overlay and let's do opacity at, let's go 43%. And we're definitely going to clip this to the background. Cool, 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 cool. All right. I think, okay, I think we want shadows like we have here. Let me remind myself how I did that.
Okay, cool.
Brightness and contrast, little maybe like that. Just clicking Option to clip it to the background. It's really blue, so I might bring that opacity down more. Okay, we're going dark and moody, and I think that's just my go-to. So what I might do actually is a color fill, like a solid color. Might go sort of a dark in the bluish area. You like that? No. Might be overall, and we're going to invert mask, invert it, use a brush, flow 100%, opacity maybe 50%. Okay, this shape is good, I think. And yeah, we just sort of go over to hide that. It's definitely looking more like a spotlight effect with this little arc shape that I've done. Okay, cool. Let us actually copy this layer here, put it on top. Gonna invert this mask so we're only affecting the subject this time. So let's start off with brightness and contrast. So might zoom in a bit here. Brightness. Alright, we've got to make sure it is only affecting the mask here. Okay, I'm gonna get back to this. I'm just gonna have a bit of a break. Okay, I'm back to edit the rest of this photo. I don't think we have a whole lot more to do. We'll do the dodge and burn and maybe another color balance. Do you see Hex here? Oh, excuse the mess. Don't mind the mess, but Hexy. Hex. He got a new little bandana. It's got strawberries on it. So with the dodge and burn, I do just add a curve layer and bring up the brightness there. And then I just invert this mask so you can't see it. And use the brush tool. Opacity, bring the opacity down. Obviously bring the size down there. And yeah, I'll just go over some areas that I would like to be highlighted a little brighter. Just even out the skin tone a bit. Sort of get rid of a bit of the dark circles under the eyes there. Maybe a little bit on the lips there. I don't think I'm gonna add in the shadows, so we'll just be doing little bits of highlights here and there. It is quite glossy, but And you see, maybe I wanted it a little bit softer, to be honest. I could always reduce the opacity of the layer itself and see how that looks. I'll keep it at 100 with the brush strokes. Sometimes it's hard to tell when you're zoomed up that it's making any difference, but when you look at the bigger picture and turn the layer on and off, you really notice it. Just going over where it's already got the highlights and making that brighter. So you can sort of see what that does. Especially with the hair, actually. You know, I'm happy with that, so I might just leave it there. And I might reduce the opacity of this layer because I think it was a little bit too bright. Yeah, that looks good. I think we are done. Okay, I think that's it. Here's the final photo. It's not super polished, as I was saying before. It's more about the just general image. I wasn't really fixated on making things perfect. It's more just to get the vibe that I want and focus on small adjustments instead of massive dramatic changes, which is what I usually do in Photoshop. So for me, this has been quite helpful with learning photo editing, is just learning to like pare it back and do little bits at a time. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was helpful for me as well, as I was relearning all those techniques I was talking about. So yeah, it was pretty basic, but I hope you enjoyed anyway. And that will be it for today. I will see you next time. Bye.